Are you not of this world? Well, then you should probably stick around, because there's always these little keys that are buried throughout the Bible that shows us what you can do when you are not of this world. And the first one today is going to be out of 1 Samuel chapter 30, because David has happened upon some of the worst set of circumstances that somebody who is leading an army can find themselves in. They return to their base to find the entire place destroyed. And again, this is 1 Samuel chapter 30. When David and his men come back to Ziklag, they find the place burned down and everything that they have, including their wives, their sons, daughters, completely stolen by the Amalekites. Now, this was a time when it's serious. It's not like the little troubles that we have today. We're talking everything is wiped out. So what does David do even when all of the men are complaining against him? And basically they're ready to stone David because they are so upset and so grieved because the Amalekites have run off with everything that they have, including their family. And so they're very upset because of this. But David has a choice to make. And instead of just caving to those negative emotions and the reality, the horrible reality of the situation, he chooses something different. And David encourages himself in the Lord. He strengthens himself in the Lord. And when he's done doing that, instead of bowing to the fear and bowing to the will of the people and saying, oh, it's my fault that this happened, he goes and he inquires of the Lord. He actually goes to the priest Abiathar and says, bring me the ephod. And he inquires of the Lord of what to do. Do I continue? Do I pursue? What do I do? And God tells him to go ahead and pursue. In particular, this is what David said. Shall I pursue this raiding party? This is in verse 8. Will I overtake them? Pursue them, is what God answered. You will certainly overtake them and succeed in the rescue. And it's interesting because the setup for this, for victory, for restoration, is that along the way, as David's men decrease, the further they get more tired and they kind of hang back, is they do come upon an Egyptian servant who was left behind by the Amalekites. He said, my master left me behind a few days ago because I got ill. But they nurse him back to health, give him food, give him water, and then he's able to lead them right to where they were, so that David was able to vanquish the foe and restore everything. The word actually says that there was nothing that was kept back, that they recovered all, and they recovered the sons and daughters, and David recovered his wives at that point. And so we need to look at this as a really good lesson, that when we are facing circumstances that are insurmountable, that seem like they are absolutely impossible, that if we will stop and if we will inquire of God about what to do, that we can have a very different outcome. David could have just caved to the pressure and to his own grief of having his family stolen from him. And instead, he made the decision to ask God to go inquire of him. But first, he strengthened himself in the Lord. And so that is our word of exhortation, is to ensure that we, as we face trials and tribulations in our own lives and with other people, is to strengthen ourselves in the Lord and know that he is our strength, and he does abide in us, and we abide with him. So remember that, be encouraged, and do what David did.